Hey there! Today I have a brand new box from Altenew and it is filled with the gorgeous Live Your Dream scrapbook collection. So I want to show you each of the parts of this collection kit so that you can see what I'm working with today. First up, we have the 12 by 12 paper set. Let me show you some of these gorgeous pattern papers. And they really have such bright and bold colors. They definitely have a painterly feel to them. I love that background. Some of these just look so real. They look as though you've painted the background. I love that there are florals as well as geometric kind of prints, especially that one, that really fun grid there. Lots of florals, and then you get two sheets of these double-sided papers in this paper set. So there are the pattern papers. Now let's go to the embellishments. These are the chipboard stickers. Let me give you a closer look at them. So there's florals, there's banners, there's just circles, beautiful hearts. I love the watercolor leaves. Big words here, great for using for titles, you guys. These are the clear stickers, which I really love because they can really add a lot to a background, and with the clear stickers they look really great when you start layering things on top of them. These are the die cuts, and there are so many of these included in this pack. There's lots of little sayings, which I really like. There's some journaling spots. I love the hearts too. And then these awesome puffy stickers, black, which will go with anything, and wood epoxy buttons. Same kind of really fun patterns here. So I'm starting with a photo of my husband and I from our 10th anniversary dinner, and we celebrated that last summer. And I really want to use a lot of color on this layout. So I'm grabbing this striped paper because it adds a lot of color to my background, and I'm going to cover that up with some white cardstock. Now I want to be sure that I have my stripes even on this side. I really dislike it when I go to cut a paper at 8.5 inches and I didn't kind of center the pattern. I'm also going to go ahead and cut my white cardstock to top that up, and that needs a bit more trimming. So the restaurant that we ate at for our anniversary dinner is an old restaurant in London, and it has these amazing windows that have panes of colored glass in them, and they're all in diamonds. And I just remember how beautiful the light was coming in all the colors on our table. So I want to use a lot of colors to create some diamonds on this page. And I'm going to hand cut those. I'm not going to get out my die cutting machine because I figure that a diamond is a pretty easy shape to work out. So I think I can make that happen. So I'm pulling out a couple of different papers here that have some really more solid colors in them. Because I have a bit of pattern already on my background, I don't want to compete with that too much. So I'm starting off with trying to figure out how to cut a diamond shape easily with my trimmer. And let me just give you a warning right now, these diamonds are going to be a bit wonky, but I think that's kind of the fun of it. So I'm pulling out my scissors to create my diamonds. So a little bit wonky, but kind of fun. It might be more of a kite shape, but I kind of like that. So we're going to go with it. I'm going to use this orange here, and the first one I did is going to be my template. cut that out with orange. Let's see what other colors I can get here. So I usually like to do things in 3s and 5s. So I'm going to try to make a couple of more diamonds. Maybe one more here. And I like the idea of those diamonds going down in a column around the left 1/3 of my photo. So I'm kind of second guessing the background paper choice, and I really think that this little kind of squares and rectangles piece will work better. So I'm just trimming that. Again, I'm making sure that I get this even. So you can see there I made sure that the lines were even from left to right before I cut. Yeah, that feels much better to me. You can see all of the different colors much better here than you could with the stripes. So one thing I already had in my stash are these mega number dies, and because this is a pretty big anniversary for us, 10 years, I am going to use some big numbers to make that a title on my layout. So what I'm doing is pulling out all of my die cutting supplies, and it's rare that I do these dies, but I really like the way they turn out. So, and it's much nicer to do them like this than pulling out my computer. Sometimes I just don't want to get on the computer anymore. So I'm doing the number 10 in black cardstock, and I just grabbed what I had on hand, the pieces left over from other projects. So I'm doing the main number in 10, but I want a little shadow of color. So I'm grabbing this bright pink here, and I'm going to die cut the number again. I'm just going to add some adhesive to my black cardstock numbers here, and then place them on the bright pink numbers at a slight angle. So you see a little shadow of that light pink, that bright pink, sorry. And I like using this technique. Most of the time I do gray as the shadow, but I like this layout is just full of color. This collection has so much color, so why not do a color shadow? So in the die cut pack, I saw this word celebrate, and it immediately jumped out at me. And I'd like to put that right here at the base of my photo. The name of this layout is going to be Celebrate 10 Years. And I'm just going to try to fit everything in here. If you've seen my 8.5 inch by 11 inch layouts before, you know that I typically do fit a lot on. I love creating an 8.5 inch by 11 inch because there's something about the way that things fit on here that feel better to me. I like having that vertical layout design instead of a square. So I'm just going to try to get everything in place here. As you can see, I went ahead and added my journaling. I just put that in Photoshop Elements and printed it out at the bottom of my white cardstock. And I really like the way that everything is feeling here. So the first thing to do is get my photo adhered, and it already has a white border underneath the photo, and I'm just adhering it with dimensional adhesive. And a lot of times when I find something has a perfect place, I will just lift up a corner and add adhesive below, just so I don't lose that perfect spot. I love having these bright and colorful diamonds running through my photo. It definitely doesn't take away from the image. It really draws your eye into what you're looking at is the photo. I'm thinking that this diamond here needs to be a bit brighter. So I'm pulling out a part of the pattern paper that has more of the bright pink. That one was a bit too dark for me, so that bright pink feels much better. And I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that down, and that will coordinate with the pink shadow on my number 10. I'm adding the word celebrate, the die cut, with dimensional adhesive, and then my number 10 right next to it. How fun is that? Those mega die metal dies, mega number metal dies. They're so big and bold. And I love using them on a layout title. It just works really well. Just going to add a little bit more dimensional adhesive there, put a little bit on my photo. And there's the main gist of my layout. Now it's time to add some stamping. You guys know that I love stamping, and this stamp set is really fantastic. This is one I've had in my stash for a while. Also from Altenew, and you'll be able to find the links to all the product I used here in my video notes, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. I'm just using some rubber on the back of that stamp just to get off anything left behind in the process of creating the stamp, and it helps the ink to adhere better. Before I stamp on my background, since everything's adhered down, I just want to be sure that the colors that I'm using are what I want to use. And it's a good thing I checked because I don't love that first pink that I used. And I don't like the second pink that I used. So I'm going to try this petal pink color, and I like that a lot better. I want these words that I'm stamping on the background to be very subtle, and I'm going to stamp them multiple times so that there's a shadow effect here. I'm going to keep this word close to my diamonds. I'm going to stamp it 3 times, and you can see there I kind of lined it up to make sure that I had enough room. It's so light that it just kind of fades away. So there's the word anniversary. I'm going to grab a different phrase here. Next I'm stamping loved. The actual phrase on the stamp is are loved, but I just inked up the word loved and stamped it twice. And then the last one I'm going to use is adore. Again, the phrase says I adore, and I'm just going to ink up the word adore to add to my page. I'm going to check out this color again. When I stamp it the first time, the color is a bit too dark, so I'm going to stamp off first and then stamp on my page background. Just going to try to move this little diamond up a little bit to make some room for this word. Going to stamp off. I huffed just slightly, which means I put my hot breath on the stamp to make sure the stamp was still wet. So I have the words anniversary, adore, and loved there. Next it's time to open up these clear stickers, which I really, really love. You can see how light these are. And just be aware that as soon as you put these down, they do stick very well. So just be careful if you're trying to pull them up. I would recommend pulling them up with a spatula or something that won't allow them to tear. So I want to kind of put these in 3 different areas. I have that pretty teal one there coming out of the number 10. And I like these black lined ones here. I'm going to put this one at the top of my photo. Just trying to slip the stem underneath my photo there. And I'm going to do the same one, that black line, somewhere else. I'm trying to figure out if it's on the right or on the left. I have a thin area on the left over there that I can probably fit it in. I'm going to stick it right underneath the corner of my photo here. It's just a bit tricky. There we go. Just another little embellishment there. Just very subtle. These are the chipboard stickers. And I love that enjoy the ride, but I don't want to cover up my 10. I want to make sure that that black stays out, but this heart fits perfectly there without really covering up the numbers at all. And I really like these leaves, but I think they're just a bit too big and overwhelming. There's a chipboard piece of the same kind of leaf design. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that will work here. I think adding this bunting would just really take away from that beautiful line of diamonds that I have there, so I'm going to leave that off. But that little heart definitely adds something at the top. And when I have 3 of those hearts, it creates a really nice visual triangle. So I'm going to use that. That Celebrate Today banner would be nice, but I really like the Remember This because it's a bit more neutral. So these die cut hearts are pretty fantastic as well. They're just quite large, so I have to be careful using them. This is a great thing to add. It says a day to remember up there at the top. I just keep going towards the bunting. I don't know about you guys, but I always love adding bunting to my layouts. Love these little phrases, another perfect day and fun day. That's pretty cool. So these are the alpha stickers, and I wanted to add the word years in. Don't have enough room at the bottom, so I'm going to add it directly to the top of my die cut number 10. And what I like about this is that it's a totally different texture than the cardstock that I used for the number 10. So even though it's a black on black, it does stick out because you see the shininess of the word years. Going to go ahead and adhere these chipboard stickers here. And I took off the Celebrate Today chipboard piece because now that I have the A Day to Remember piece, I think that works really well there. Here's this heart again, and I'm trying to fit it in here, but I think that underneath the corner would be a better place. Now, my dimensional adhesive is stuck down, so I'm using an X-Acto knife so that I don't damage my photo. And then I can just stick that in there for another layer. I really like the look of all those colors together, those bright and bold colors. Next, it's time to add those epoxy wood buttons. How cute are they? Have one at the bottom next to the number 10. Have one at the top. So this is what I'm doing with these little banners. Instead of having that banner sticker at the top, I'm just going to add a little bit of color sticking out of my photo here just above my title. And I'm looking for the pink one here, which I just found. I want to put the pink one in the middle and separate the green and the blue. So I really like the way that looks. It worked out perfectly. So I didn't add the banner sticker, but I added a few banner pieces coming out from underneath my photo. I really love all of the bright colors in this Live Your Dream collection, and I loved that I used the diamond shape, which was something that was in the restaurant where we were celebrating our 10th anniversary, to inspire this page design. Those awesome big numbers just made this layout pop. And adding those puffy stickers on top created a really cool tone-on-tone title. I really love this page, and the memory that it documents. 10 years is a big deal for us, and it was a great night, and now I have a great page to record that. Be sure to check out the Altenew Live Your Dream Scrapbook collection at the link in my video notes, and happy creating!